Hello everybody! Today we will present to you the Seattle World Fair, otherwise known as the 21st Century Exposition. This exposition has been inspired by the promise of a new age, giving visitors a glimpse of a possible future. Around 10 years of planning went into the fair and became fully fledged 2 years before the grand opening, when the Bureau of International Expositions endorsed the Seattle Fair. Images and advertisements appeared everywhere, from the Sunday Times to Financial Times and many others. All around the world, people began planning vacation in Seattle. From the first day of the fair, April 21st, and until the last day, October 21st, 1962, around 10 million people visited the fair, making it one of the largest fairs of its time. What were the highlights of the fair, you may wonder? The fair had 5 major themes, each one with their sub-theme. The World of Science presented the most popular attraction, Boeing Space Area, that took visitors in a 10-minute journey to other galaxies. The World of Century 21st was held in the Washington State Coliseum and showed the visitors the technology that may be used in the future. The World of Commerce and Industry included exhibits from all around the world. The World of Art offered masterpieces by artists such as Michelangelo, Rembrandt, Homer, etc. And the last one, the World of Entertainment, presented ballet and drama shows, as well as jazz concerts. All of these areas were tied by the boulevards of the world, which contain a variety of shops and places to eat. Beside the fair's main attractions, many visitors also went on the monorail and visited the famous Space Needle. Now, I would like to play you a short TV commercial that was created in 1962, promoting the Seattle World's Fair.
Everybody's planning to see Seattle's spectacular $100 million World's Fair.
So pack up your troubles and forget your care. Pack up your family and head for the fair in Seattle.
Welcome to the future and all the wonders of the 21st century in the greatest preview the world has ever seen.
Take a way ahead, look at tomorrow, just as if you were there.
Rocket ride to Mars in the breathtaking U.S. Science Pavilion. See the fabulous city of tomorrow in the gigantic, wall-less, pillarless Coliseum. Have fun with the happy-go-lucky crowds.
Pack up your troubles.
For 6 wonderful months.
Pack up your family and head for the fair.
It's the big thrilling adventure of a lifetime. Opening April 21st to October 21st in Seattle.
The Seattle Fair not only provided many things for adults to do, but there were also numerous activities for families and children, such as an amusement park, a circus, art, musicals, and educational programs. In an article published in the Seattle Times, Bruce Ramsey reminisces about his favorite childhood memories from the fair, such as the carnival ride, the wild mouse, and the food circus. One of the most interesting displays for children during the fair was within the Library 21 exhibit, sponsored by the American Library Association. Library 21 was designed to envision the role of technologies in libraries of the future. It opened on April 21st and closed on October 21st. The exhibit included the Children's World, which specifically trained librarians that would serve 3 at a time for a 5-week period. The Children's World exhibit was found inside the Coliseum within the fairgrounds. You would walk down a curving staircase which led to a maze and eventually find your way into the exhibit. There were round tables and colorful modern furniture, including red, blue, green, and purple. This exhibit was conceived as a world of books and ideas. Over 2,000 children's books were provided through the corporation in support of publishers in the U.S. and from numerous foreign countries. Children had the opportunity to have a personal interaction with a trained librarian, and books were chosen based on the current importance in the scientific world at the time, including foreign films and publications. Children had the exciting chance to read and discover a new world with librarians during this exhibit and visit the library of the future. Overall, the fair served as an exciting event for all children, and there were opportunities to learn and experience new technology and science, engage in different cultures and the arts in various ways, as well as the chance to read literature from all over the world and connect with trained librarians, which provided a significant and futuristic opportunity for children at the time.
2 important segments of the fair were the 1962 monorail and the car of the future. In the first picture, you see what the monorail looked like. This futuristic-looking monorail was built by Alwit Rapid Transit System specifically for the World's Fair. It was built 2 months before the fair was scheduled to open. The main purpose of building this monorail was to encourage people to attend the fair. The monorail would pick up people from downtown and drop them off at the fair. Its significance became very popular among visitors of the fair because it gave vision of what future transportation would look like. I would like to show you a video of what the monorail looked like back in the 1960s. So here's a video of it.
All passengers must leave the train at this terminal. Round-trip passengers turn to your left as you leave the train. Exit to your right.
The other pictures are what the monorail looks like now. You can see that the name it has changed. They named it Seattle Center Monorail, and this is what it looks like now in the 21st century. Now I will talk to you about the car of the future. Now, why it's named like that, it's because the auto manufacturer, General Motors, they decided to name this car the car of the future just because its mobility at the time was the easiest, fastest, surest kind possible. The purpose of showcasing this car to the public was to give visitors a preview of the changes that would come to the automobile industry. The two pieces were significant because they showed the public and visitors what future transportation would look like for Seattle.
Science was also a very prominent focus of the Seattle's World Fair. During this time, a major event in the science community was space travel and the development of shuttles. This is mentioned in the opening remarks given by President John F. Kennedy, who highlights the focus on scientific discovery and development, as well as the cooperation of different nations. Science and industrial development is seen as a way to unite opposing nations and promote peace. Using articles from journals and newspapers released during this time, we can see that this event showcases and celebrates different technological advancements being made to advance humanity. So the United States Science Exhibit was supported financially by Congress and given an appropriation of $9.8 million, which is approximately $83 million today. So the two major focuses are the developments in science as a cooperation of nations and developments in psychology. And the sources used are a newspaper written by F.J. McGuigan and Sherman Ross, detailing the content shown within the United States Pavilion, which is consisted of 5 different buildings pertaining to different areas of science. And like I said before, John F. Kennedy made opening remarks introducing the World's Fair, focusing on scientific discovery and the cooperation of nations. And the countries that most notably participated were the Soviet Union, Italy, and Japan, which were not at great odds during that time. So advancements in space travel were a major theme of the World's Fair. It was very new and exciting, and this was mainly due to the space race going on between the Soviet Union and the United States. And Yuri Gagarin from Russia was the first man to make it into space just 1 year prior to the World's Fair. Psychology was another major part of the World's Fair, and it contained a large area with specific exhibits that would show current research that was going on at the time. Research touched on a multitude of subjects from different researchers, and they would usually be using animals for experimentation and study, and then apply what they learned from that to humans. And there were multiple different scientists and experiments that were done.
So we are moving on to the legacy of the Exposition. This is a picture of the Space Needle in Seattle, which is a prominent landmark of modern Seattle skyline. And the needle was completed in 1962 in time for the fair. And the fair marked the significance and the maturity of the city of Seattle, transitioning it into the big league cities such as New York, Chicago, or San Francisco, with the population between 1950 and 1960 increased by 46%. As a result, it attracted more investments, such as from Boeing, helped diversify the regional economy. There were also plans to develop a business district with expansion to the transit system, taking advantage of the monorail and the fairground. And also, following the organization of the fair, there are many changes to the arts and cultures of the city that happened. The Seattle Center, which is in the picture here, was a new civics and arts center that benefited from the monorail that connected downtown to the fairground. Multiple attempts at lobbying and raising awareness of the arts investment were also made throughout the decade, starting from 1960s. The fair also introduced the concept of pedestrian mall and the coexist of public transport and cultural centers, such as the Pioneer Squares up here and the Westlake Mall, increasing the public space for people living in the city while showcasing the best of the city's public arts. However, some attempts at changing the city's appearance did not work out, such as this sketch here about the vision for the city's monorail system. The fairground, which was planned to become an integral part of the central business district, never became true due to some politics around planning and lack of investment, leaving the area unattractive from other newer developments. And as a result, the Seattle Center was fenced off, as you can see right here. However, the fair still allows Seattle to become the center of the Pacific Northwest region up until today.